So the first video I actually shot when I started shooting these back to back was essentially supposed to be my media consumption video. Welcome back to another video, ladies and gentlemen. I usually say that on a different channel, but I'm going to keep faith that you guys are shifting your world out there, staying positive, and just keeping your mind focused on the things you want to experience in your life and sharing love, because a lot of this fear mongering alarm went off, but it's just quite the atmosphere of things. This video right here is going to be about collective beliefs and what did I write in my journal? Let me see. Collective conscious beliefs and what you focus on. I don't exactly know what the title of this video is going to be. I'll find it after. But I really do want to talk about how you have to be careful when manifesting anything you want. I really don't like using that word because I feel like it's so commercialized now. But aligning to the reality you want and paying attention to what's going on in the collective. Here's the thing. You should always have I feel like this. I feel like you should always have awareness of your surroundings and things that are going on around you. But I really do feel like God will give you that set of glasses anyways, your higher self, God, the maker, whatever you want to say. But you should be aware of certain things that world events that are taking place. But in no circumstances should you be emotionally tied to the events that happen. Because again, if a meteor hits, if this breaks out, if whatever happens, at the end of the day, it's going to happen. There are certain forces that are at play in this world, and it just is what it is. I definitely believe that the power is with the people, and you can collectively shift the planet if you have enough people following this system of going within themselves and really reconnecting with nature. And I really do feel like that's the reason they do a lot of this, controlling the food, the water, all that stuff. But honestly, that's for another video, and probably a video that is more private and not just openly on the page. But I have spoken about it openly before. But you have to be careful of collective beliefs when you're aligning to the reality you want to experience, because you can easily take on things that will not benefit your life. Like, example for me, I have an amazing woman in my life right now. If I went with the collective belief that, all women are this, all women are after this from you, relationships are difficult, just like the other side of the coin where people believe like men are this, men do that, men are that. Do you think the people who found their partner that they're married 30, 40 years with, married out of high school, whatever, had that sort of mindset when they were in flow and they came across their soulmate or twin flame? No. That's my whole thing here. When it comes to jobs, when it comes to experiences, when it comes to what you can do with your skin color or not, no matter what, even if there are certain things that seem like they lean on one side than the other, especially when it comes to skin color, do not believe them. Because that's one of the biggest things I've never let me affect me in my life, but I definitely had crazy encounters. I had a relationship, and again, I'm speaking as the awareness I am now. I could look back at the situation separate from who I am now, where I had a girlfriend where her her younger brothers, because I think they were half brothers, I can't entirely remember. I think they were. I think she had a different dad than them, but I can't remember. He was, you know, racist, right? He didn't want his kids being around me, but the younger kids always wanted to be around me. They always wanted to play with me. They asked about me all the time, right? Ironically, anytime, well, when I heard this stuff initially from her mother, I didn't let it affect me. I said, oh, well, I don't mind. He'll come around or something. If somebody has a bad experience with someone who looks my skin color, I can't knock for the way they feel. But I do understand that skin color has nothing to do with it. We're all humans at the end of the day. And I moved on with myself because I was very focused on school at the time, anyways. Ironically enough, if you understand manifestation and how the universe, everyone is just pushed out, because I didn't react to that situation like an ignorant person, he came full circle and ended up wanting to know me. I think over time he oddly got a black friend and was going to the bar with, but if the kids wanted me to take them to the park, and he said, hey, can so and so, can Rel take them to the park? Very funny. And I just think about these moments in my life when I've had certain instances, and it's funny, I haven't had a lot, but it's ironic where in every single situation I didn't react like you see someone who kind of forwards this whole push. Not to say there's anything wrong about the fighting for those things, but me not fighting that and just understanding that I'm the God within. Even when I didn't understand that back in the day, like back when I was in school, I still was in this flow because we naturally are all still gods. Everything is energy no matter what. Even if you had an awakening or you don't, everything at the end of the day is still going to be energy. So I didn't react to that. And there's other instances where I can give you of this idea too. But I never let anything on the external define who I am because I'm not this skin color. I'm a soul under this. And people know it deep down within their hearts. They don't want to accept it because they're still operating on the physical plane. This physical existence is a manifestation of the divine. Let's just cut to the chase. So when I talk about things like this, I'm talking about it with the economy too. You know what's funny? For some reason, what I see on my feed all the time is all of these finance bros are still doing so well and claiming to do so well, and people are selling courses and there's still a market and everything when they say that the economy is bad. Do you see why the economy could be bad out there, but in your internal state, you say that all your needs are met, or you stay in the mode that you are still able to find jobs? Because for me, I've been able to find multiple jobs. I've had multiple interviews, but people were saying the economy was bad. You know what I told myself? No, for me, it benefits me. I always find new jobs. I always have a comfortable job to work in. Like, I say that for myself as while I do my business outside of my, like, this YouTube channel, my other YouTube channels. I still stay in the mindset that everything is created within to the external because it is. Nothing outside of us defines us. And if you could get collective people to really believe that, you would see the world shift overnight. If you could have people be like, yo, the fucking economy's healed, and just stay in that knowing. But that's also why this knowledge is really to that small percentage of beings who have awakened on the planet. You are a part of that shift if you're watching videos like this because it's just like you've realized what the true world is. It's the inner world. Because through this inner world, you can give yourself everything and literally knock down all the walls of everything you were facing within your life. You can literally turn your life around overnight. And I have. I've done it because I became aware of what I was thinking that was attracting certain things to happen in my life. I seen it all after I awakened. I could go back and pinpoint every single thing that was leading up to this. But the thing is these collective beliefs and everything can really hurt you. And I already talked about this in another video, but no matter what is going on the external reality, do not shift your internal state of being. Stay strong, stay powerful, and still understand that everything works in your favor because no matter what happens outside of yourself, you're still a spirit, you're still a God, you're still a maker. The outside world does not shift you. I've had moments where things look completely bleak. What am I going to do? I have no money. I have no this. Then a job randomly emails me for $100,000 a year for brand ambassador. What? Like things that just, it blew my mind. It blew my mind that I, I I'm telling you guys, I know this because I tried to disprove it. And I didn't try to disprove it because whatever. I heard the story of Elmer. Elmer was really cool. I got to talk to him at the beginning of his journey, but I think he just grew too big and I wasn't on the same frequency anymore. Didn't talk to him. Would have been really cool to have him as a contact really close to me. But in the early days when I was messaging him, I would talk to him about like thought transmissions and how literally things I was thinking or saying in my mind that somebody would end up doing, they would end up doing in person. I said, yo, you know what, this person's gonna tell me this by this point, and they would do it. And it's not manipulation, it's because we're all connected in the mind. But what some people miss is you go within yourself. You're not outwardly trying to do something. That's like manipulative or narcissistic or controlling. You go into the inner world because it's the thing that's funneling you between different frequencies and dimensions and parallel universes. You go in here and go, oh, see, it happened like this, and you go about your day because you gave it to yourself internally. You don't need validation outside of yourself. Which in an upcoming video, this is how I healed my overthinking and anxiety too, because I realized, holy shit, I'm the world. But anyways, going on what I talked about with Elmer, it was thought transmission. Now his grandpa, sorry, messed that up because I'm just in flow. His grandpa was a student of Neville Goddard. Now the cool thing about his grandpa being a student of Goddard, he wanted to disprove Goddard at first with the whole ladder technique. It ended up working. Long story short, my man went on to do amazing, great things with the experience of time that he had here. And he taught his son, his cool ass son, if one thing led to another, and somehow This dude who's living an entire life in his 40s now talks to a dude who's 21 one day on the internet. It's just so cool how things butterfly effect in reality. Everyone is you pushed out. Funny enough about Neville Goddard too. Neville Goddard was a dancer. I'm also a dancer, which is funny because someone said it's literally like the universe. I say it too, but somebody said it to me. We visualize the frequency of the universe through our body, so it's very cool. I like that little fact. It makes me feel all giddy. Nah, but I'm so sorry for that. But the reason I wanted to talk about this is because truthfully, that's why not many people are meant to understand this, because people are still hooked up in the external reality of them, of this being locked in survival, locked in this. And it's not. You can still survive and do these things, but you have to understand who is the mindset that is doing it. Are you in a mindset of lack, of life is tough, this is hard, life is just struggle, and this and that? Because life is all these things. But understand, you were somewhere before this. If you believe that you're one with God, you're one with the universe, you're one with this, that means you belong to an energy stream that was before this, much more powerful than this. Really, you know how everything outside of you has no meaning but the meaning you give it. It's your perception that warps it. So really, you're much bigger, much powerful in the grand scheme of things to something that's such a little portion of what you experience as a soul. But it is one of the most transformative points in time. Like Dolores Cannon said, why so many souls want to come to Earth is because you can see some of the most crazy growth here with manifesting and understanding energy, because you're like in one of the lowest realms where you barely have access to your powers, where you can heal yourself and stuff through meditation, but it requires an immense amount of really rising back up to who you are. And some people say you don't ascend anywhere because you are already whole. But the whole idea of ascension, or the word for lack of a better term, is just to explain you really going back to self. So I'm going to say ascend. But you really are all whole and complete inside. It's just you have to shave off all that muck you got as you grew up here. Because when you go back to source anyways, you have to shed everything that you had here. Take all the lessons with you and what you learned, and realize that everyone outside of you was a character playing a certain role, but realize for yourself you're going to let it go one day. And that's why letting go and detachment is one of the most powerful things. You give it to yourself internally because you are all things, and you let it go. That's what it's about. When you leave this world, you let everything that was here go. So is truly understand this collective belief in medium consumption, which I know I went off on a tangent a little bit, it can really hinder you, because it didn't matter what people said about the economy or anything. It's like, no, I am the economy. I am this. Really start to claim these things and see what happens, because the collective consciousness can really, really hold you down in terms of like what is going on in the collective conscious. But as you see more people rise to this understanding and knowing, you see that there's a rise in what people call new age spirituality, but it's not really, it's ancient. This is all ancient knowledge, as I've been saying forever. So anyways, this video was just about be careful with the media consumption. I already said it in another video, and I guess I'm doing this video again, kind of. But I'm also just saying be careful of collective beliefs, because they could really end up having your reality messed up. Like if I believed in all that black power stuff, and oh, because of my skin color, I gotta make sure I'm watching my back for the other skin color and all this. Imagine what my reality would look like. I would look like the people who are, like paranoid of other groups and races and colors. And then if I am the God and I'm internally feeling paranoid of other people, but we're all collectively connected, they're feeling what I'm feeling, so they're paranoid about me. And it's funny, what I've gotten my entire life is that I have a very inviting aura, and that's because I didn't take on that collective belief of I'm black, gotta watch out for these people. I never let somebody, I allowed a person to have that perspective if they want to. I never took it on as my own, because it's not me. Sorry, it's not I am who I am, and I'm not going to let something external in me dictate who I am. I don't care. Years or whatever of it doesn't matter. I am who I am. I know I'm a soul. I've had so many people of different races, creeds, or whatever come up and talk to me. Rich, poor, this, that. People who were, I've gone road tripping and they've come up and talked to me about things and just laugh. And even if, in my perspective, they've been a bit more on the negative side of things. I remember I had a guy come up to me. He was super cool though. Talked about how he signed a $500,000 deal because he's a contractor or something. White guy, doesn't matter what his race is though. And he was complaining about the food taking long, and I was laughing. I was like, hey, maybe they're busy. I was trying to give him a more optimistic thing. But he was in his perspective, which is okay. But he was chilling and talking. That same day, I talked to a woman who told me about her like son graduating college and everything, and then someone just passing her family. You know, like imagine really being so stuck on this skin color thing, and then you can't. That's why I just say collective beliefs in this spiritual thing. That shit drops. You become the one, bro. You're Neo. This is the Matrix. You wake up out of this shit and still be mindful. There's dangerous people in the world. Don't be stupid. Don't, they exist out there somewhere outside of, your awareness. You can become aware of them at some point. Just handle it like all scenarios. Don't let it shift your internal state because you are a god. Much love. Let's get into the next one. Remember, shift your world. I'm out of here. Almost like did a bro fist.